We've arrived at the site to explore today, and it looks pretty promising. A lot of the remains of these stone buildings down here with us where we had to stop. The road just vanished about here and it doesn't get any better. It gets worse and you keep going. So parked here next to the stone buildings, and then if you look up, you can see all the waste rock piles wrapping down the hill there. We've been hiking up the wash here. You can see why we stopped driving. The road is somewhat difficult to drive now. Another adit here, open, little prospect, not something we want to hit yet. We've got all this in front of us, so we're gonna keep pushing this and see what's up there.
This is how much gear we need.
Yeah, that's Jeremy is demonstrating how much gear we need to bring with us. So we're loaded and ready for whatever we encounter with this one. Still working our way up the wash. You can see the remains of more stone buildings here. Actually, they're all the way up the wash. They're scattered on the cliffs and such. I've got one behind me. We stashed our vertical gear here. We'll come back and get it if we need it. But you can see all those waste rock piles are looking pretty appealing. But we don't want to hike all the way up there with all the vertical gear and other stuff if we don't have to. You can tell the miners were living here. See, that's some china there. Just evidence of actually having lived here. Some sardine tins over there and other stuff. Lots of metally bits all over the place coming up the wash, and I'm seeing them scattered all around the ground here as well. So there was definitely a fair amount of activity here. Saw a few carbide cans. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start working our way up the wash and hit these along the way until we get to the top one, and then come down the ridge back to this point and hit those on the ridge on the way back down. So hopefully next place I'll pick up will be there. All right, got up to the top of that waste rock pile. It actually stretches a lot farther back than I expected. You can see it extends way out there, but here is the adit. It's wide open, so we'll drop down in there. I'll change cameras out and we'll see what we're working with. And there's still a ton of stuff above us. Just inside the portal, and it's nice and cool in here. There's an interesting little nook right there. The adit extends well out in front of us there. See this rock wall on my left? They made a little chamber back here, which I think is pretty cool. I haven't seen something like that before. I see charcoal material there, and there may have been a blacksmith operation tucked away here. And in fact, if you look at the top or the back of the adit here, it looks pretty dark. That may be the rock. I'm not sure yet, but it's enough to make me wonder that maybe that's what that was there. Either way, let's get into it, see what we're working with. Yeah, actually the rock is pretty dark in here. So, not sure what that little chamber was, but I am just enjoying being inside the cool air. One of my buddies went ahead. Got a little chamber right there. Despite being one of the driest places in the world right now, it's actually fairly damp in here, which I'm not complaining about. Looks like some natural faulting right there. Kind of interesting rock in here. Now see, that looks like a face, but it isn't. It's not a face. We've got a raise right in front of me, running up there. That's wood. It looks pretty loaded. You see all the rock in between the cracks in the wood. So probably a plugged ore pass. Looks like some stoping over there. And you've got a little backfilled stope chamber there. Stuff running off to the left. See that stole right there just hanging in space? We'll take a closer look at that. And we've got stuff going off to the right that way, and the stope chamber continues up through here. Pretty cool looking, the rock. I think Jeremy's coming back. I'll wait and hear what he has to say. What's back there?
There's a pretty cool windlass.
Okay.
There's the remains of the windlass.
Alright, cool.
It goes back maybe 100 feet.
Alright, we'll check it out.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, the windlass alone would get me back there. Oh, wow. He wasn't kidding. It's amazing how well that wood is preserved, considering how damp it was earlier in the mine. And then that runs up to the stope we were just checking out. More stope chamber there. Got the wood. You see the notch here, so the bar for the windlass, one end would have been in there, and one end would have been in there. And I was about to ask Jeremy why he didn't drop his winds, but now I understand, because that is the bottom right there. That's not filled in, that's not collapsed, that is literally the bottom. But you can see there's a little ladder there, and then they would have had a skip car sliding up on these boards that have metal strips. We call that strap rail attached. So that's pretty cool. Another component of the windlass there. It's interesting, you can see the two very different types of rock. I've got the blue on the left and the yellow on the right. And the miners were working the contact zone between the two. Usually that's a really mineral rich area because stuff gets squeezed up through the cracks created by the faulting. And it's often, when I say stuff, I'm talking about mineral rich stuff that's often desirable to miners. Another, looks like plugged ore chute or stope up there. Again, it's in remarkably good condition. This is a very, given all the stone structures outside, it's obviously a very old mine, so that's why I say it's in remarkably good condition. I thought it faced out right there. Pretty sure it does, just around the bend, but we'll be thorough, right? Yep, that is the end. Looks like the blue and the yellow kind of converge right there. Okay, I'm curious about the other side. Looks like there's some calcite right there. Like I said, I'm curious about that other side, so I'll pick up where I left off at that junction. We just looked down there. Back of that junction, so now we've got this side to check out. Of course, the pearl is back there behind Jeremy. This is that stole I was talking about. You can see the slab I was resting against fell out from behind it, so now it's just hanging in the air. Wonder how long ago that happened. Then see the
strap rail.
Yeah, I saw that on the, oh, I didn't even notice that I was walking on. I thought you were talking about back in the windlass. Yeah, got the old strap rail here. I'm not surprised, because I imagine that this mine was developed on the backs of mules, and so they would have brought in lighter material than the heavy rail. Plus it's an older mine too, so not surprised to see the strap rail. I was just saying that the stope extends down to there and pinches out. There's a cute little pillar right here. And it looks like they stoped down there and then dumped a bunch of waste rock in. Once they'd cleaned it out. A little damper there. I can see some water droplets on the the rib. Then we keep going this way. Oh, there's another backfilled stope down there. See the rail ties here in front of me. Extends that way. Little pocket here. Support timbers. Can't tell if those are rotted or burned. When they rot, they take on that dark color. Probably rotted because I don't see any evidence of fire. We've got drift going back that way. We've got a drift going this way. A little pocket there. Just faces out. And then looks like it faces out up here too. Yeah, looks like they were doing some exploratory work because that's faced. Oh, I didn't see it to my right. There's something running off to the right. I think that face is there, but we'll check. Faces here in front of me. And then this little pocket here. Looks like they did a little exploratory work. And then they ran down this way. Bug just flew in my face. Looks like I stopped here, but we'll find out. Okay, this is a lot more extensive than I expected. A little pocket there. Okay. Stopped right there. Stopped up there. Yeah, you can see they were poking around looking. That stuff I was just kneeling on is the rock that came out from there. So this wasn't even ore. They were just exploring because they just left the rock there. And then behind me, keep thinking it's going to face out, and it keeps going. There's the face. So I'll head back to that last junction, pick up there. We just looked down there. Now we have this drift off to the left to check out. Looks like it might face there, but I don't think it does. Given our track record in this mine, it has stoped out some of the material here. Looks pretty mineralized. That extends over to there. You can really see the contact zone. See that line right there? Between the two different types of rock. Little pocket there. And keep going this way. It smells very rodenty right now. Little pocket there. Yeah, I didn't think that was a face. It keeps going. There's a pretty big waste rock pile outside, so I expected. Kept going. There's a metal can here. Empty, of course. Rusted to the point where can't see a label or anything. I saw that piece of wood. I thought it might have been a tamping stick for the dynamite, but looks like a piece just broken off of a timber. That's a piece of wood there. Bits and pieces of wood back here. I think that ties into what we were just looking down, but I'll check. I've got a little stope here. These have been here for a while. Wow. Okay, I thought that ran to the right there, but that's the end. So kind of glad I don't have to climb up there. Another stole here over my head. You can see where they cleaned out some material. Keeps running back that way. Little pocket right there. See some strap rail sticking out. Probably a face right there. Had a little trestle going across here. See that on the left? Pocket there. More strap rail bending around, not a face. How many times have I thought I had a face in this mine? And I kept going. You can see the strap rail really clearly here, which is cool. Following the strap rail. Still going. Following the strap rail. Still going, wow. Another little pocket here. And I'd say that looks like a face, but you know what we've encountered in this mine so far. Gotta crawl through this space here. A warped board in front of me. Picked up the strap rail again. That's a more modern sardine can there. Man, this really goes. And there's finally a face. So I'll backtrack to where we left off last and pick up from there. We just finished looking down there and I'm back at that junction. I think ties into the workings we looked down before. Didn't go down, but looked down. So I was coming out, I noticed this black, greasy looking stuff, which actually looks like rodent urine, but I don't know how a rodent would have gotten up there to urinate. So, because that's a sheer side. So, don't know. Yeah, so when we came in, we just went to that was on the right when we were coming in, so that does connect as I suspected. So we haven't been down here yet. Huh. Very sandy looking material here. Different rock structure, in other words. Keeps going. Got these weird yellow streaks on this dark rock. If I didn't mention, this adit, all the drifts on this adit are pretty low, which is indicative of older workings as well. And that's it. So, we've run this one out. No collapses, no cave-ins, which is really nice. Good solid rock, which is very different from the other mines we've done this trip. And it's nice to fully run one out, not have any question marks about what's behind a cave section. So we'll keep working our way up the wash. We were both looking at this retaining wall here and thinking, huh, that looks weird, like there might be an adit there, and sure enough, there is. So we're gonna go check this out real quickly. This is kind of a weird one because you've got this rock wall built around the portal. It extends through the bush here and then around the side next to Jeremy's hat, and then it's back that way. It's almost like they were I don't know, keeping animals inside here or something. I don't know why they would seal off, well, not seal off, but build a wall around the portal like this, because how do you get the stuff out if you've got a wall blocking you? So we'll get in there and see how legitimate what Graham said is. All right, here we go. Haven't gotten the good camera out yet. I should say the good underground camera. It uses my phone. Phone's pretty good for surface stuff, but the color's not as good underground. Okay, little backfill drift. Little chamber just ends right there. No matter what, we need to give him shit about this. I don't think he went in this one, so let's say this one. Yeah, I don't think he saw it either. So no matter what, let's say it was incredible. And he absolutely blew it. Got some rail, carbide can.
Big rail too.
Yeah, it's a pretty legit rail. And then this is backfilled. As you can see, backfilled. Keeps going. Nice and cool in here. Okay, that's it. Alright, so what he said may have some legitimacy, but no matter what, we gotta say this was amazing.
Look at this.
Yes, what?
It's a big.
That's full-size railroad rail.
Uh-huh.
What is that doing here?
Maybe they're using it as an iron?
That's weird.
Or an anvil, I mean?
Yeah, I know what you meant. Anvil. I don't see any evidence, though. It's not. I don't see like hammer marks and things like that on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird. Well, let's tell him we found an anvil and a couple ore cars.
Flat car.
Flat car, yeah, that's a good one. All right, we'll start heading up that ridge. Still working our way up the side of this waste rock pile here to get up on the ridge. The adit we just checked out is, well, you can't see us down there. But I was coming up and I noticed this. I told you there are lots of metally bits around here. I found this right underneath this bush right here. I think that's a creosote bush. And you can see it was an old canteen. There's the spout right there, and the straps would have gone through there. But it was repurposed as a classifier or sifter, which is interesting. We didn't even look up the history of this. This was we had another mine in mind for this trip, and that was a backup, and that one didn't work out. So this is a backup to a backup. So we didn't do a lot of research on this mine before coming here. So I don't even know what kind of mine it is. Normally I would associate this with a gold mine, but this doesn't look like a gold mine, so who knows. Either way, it's interesting. I thought it was worth including in the video. Okay, we hiked up to the top of the ridge. There's Graham from Mines of the West way down there for scale. You can see there's waste rock running all the way down the hill here, but it's all open cuts up here. There's one there, and
Right here.
failed stope, you said?
Yeah, you can see it's collapsed into it.
Open cut right here, and then this pocket where Jeremy is, he said that's a failed open stope. It's caved in on itself. So a lot of surface though, a lot more waste rock than you would necessarily expect, but I guess if they're spilling it down a steep hillside, it might look like more than it actually is. We'll let Graham catch up to us, and then we'll I think I'll cut down through here and then start dropping the ridge. All right, he's catching up to us. Here's a look at the upper stuff. That is indeed collapsed stope right there. But all this stuff here is surface, just confirming that for you. You can see the remains of the miner's trail here, which is pretty cool. Got that rock wall there, it curves around. That's actually where we want to go to get to the cabin, so we'll follow the old miner's trail. Hiked up to the top of the ridge. I was down there filming before, and the cabin I want to see is, oh, I lost it on my screen. Right there in front of us.
Truck way down there.
Truck's way down there. There's some ranchers camped over there in the distance. I don't even know if you can see that. Pretty wide open country out here. Now, unfortunately, we've gotten up to this point, and I've been looking at those up there, And for the sake of completeness, I feel like we actually should hike all the way up there and just check them to be sure. So I hate to say it, but we're going to push our way to the top and come back down the ridge. So coming up on this big pile, it looks absolutely massive. I can't understand how it's just a little trash adit. I mean, those guys. Things extends way down the canyon. There's a pit here behind me, about a 40-foot vertical pit to the rock test. You shine the light down there, you can see the bottom. So keep going. So we've ducked inside a little stope to cool off. That giant waste rock pile is there behind me. You can see there's some stopiness swirling around us here. Now, if you crawl through these trashy stopes here, you hit that 1,500 foot adit I was talking about, and it's 1,500 feet of featureless nothing. You said there's maybe a can back there?
Yeah.
Maybe a can, but that is it.
There's a stole too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
that was the only piece of wood. Was a single stole.
Oh, well, that would definitely impress the viewers.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. I guess 1,500 feet and a little stoping could produce that pile, but whatever. We're going to cool off for a minute and then keep pushing up. Standing out in that giant waste rock pile. If you look from here, it's just insane how much waste rock here is running down the canyon. I mean, there's waste rock everywhere. So it's very surprising how small the workings are. So we're working our way up there. Got up to the top of the ridge. You can probably hear the wind whipping around us. The stuff we explored earlier is down there. We've got surface cuts and pits up here, all shallow. You can see the bottom of all of them. You see the workings of another mine over here. We're making our way back down the mountain, almost to the cabin, and we have a mystery here, which you've got this long ramp, I guess, for lack of a better description. The light's terrible right now, but running all the way down there. It's only about 3.5 feet wide, and we can't figure out its purpose. The miner's trail runs right along here. You can see how it wraps up around. So it's right along the trail. Trail keeps going past Graham's where the cabin is. Let me show you a side view of it in better light. See, it's a pretty significant structure, and haven't seen anything like it before. Don't know what its purpose was. Best guess is some sort of surface tram system, but we really don't know. It would make sense if they're working the upper workings, maybe bring something here in wheelbarrows, and then
Maybe they had a pulley stationed here, and they'd have something down there, like you said, like a surface tram. Run the goats up that way, redirect here. Maybe
yeah,
like planks of wood or.
Yeah, I was thinking that, or I was thinking like an ore chute on the surface, like they'd have boards on there, and just bring a wheelbarrow load or something down, and then dump them, and it would run down and get picked up down there. That's the best I've got. I like the mine goat idea though. That's my favorite pick, even if I don't know that's what they did, but regardless, that's my favorite pick. And then the cabin is just around the corner here. We have made it to the long promised cabin. You can see a rock wall extends over there on the right, connected to the cabin. Unfortunately, the light's terrible right now, but a few things to point out. So far, my favorite thing is this cast iron cooking pot here. You can just imagine some miner cooking a bunch of beans over an open fire or something. With that, there's an adit just beyond. We'll take a peek inside in a minute. An old hinge right there. Some cans. There's a side view. Again, the light's terrible, but you get the idea. There's an old prospector's cabin here, which I can't imagine would have been very comfortable. There's a table over there, if you can make that out. So I'm gonna grab a light and head in there and check this out. This is pretty cool. So the cabin's there behind me. There's a little stope dropping down here, and I know you can't see inside because of the bad light, but it just ends about 15 feet in, and there's some carbide cans tossed down there, and that's it. There are the remains of a door in front of me, and I mentioned the cabin may not have been very comfortable, and I think the miners agreed, because look at this cot or bed frame that was inside the portal here. Would have been nice and cool. And then to further reinforce that idea, you've got this table here with some food cans and coffee can, things like that on it. So I already feel way better just being this far inside. And you can see, that's my pack there, how close I am. So it would be very comfortable. Hang out here, get the bed frame, the little bench seat right there. Pretty nice. Unwind and relax here after a long day. Got, looks like the remains of a windlass right here. You can see the notches for it there and there. That's Jeremy's stuff there. And this, I think I can see the end right there. I'm in an awkward position. Well, what do you think? That looks like the end or no?
Yeah, I think it does, but I think I'm gonna run down there.
Yeah, I think we need to just double check. Jeremy's gonna check that out real quickly just to confirm. Did you go back here already?
It goes back up, but I didn't chase it all the way out.
Okay, I'll take a look. A lot of rat activity right here. You can smell the bar there on the ground. More table. And then there's just a little raise running up there. Given what else we've seen, I know where that goes. Look at the rock in here. And let's go see how Jeremy does. More curious about this little winze here. There's Jeremy dropping down. So he's at the end, and he says they turned it into their trash dump, tossed all the trash down there. Any good trash?
No.
All right.
It's all, you can't read anything on it.
Okay. It's just rusted cans and stuff. He said you can't read anything on it. Nothing too extraordinary. So this is a good way to end this mine. I like the stuff that's here. The cabin's cool. This is a neat little setup here for the miner that was occupying this. Can't tell what this one in the foreground is, but you can see where it says coffee there. Piece of broken glass. That's not plastic, that's glass. Pretty cool. That miner's cabin's up there. We're down at the bottom of the waste rock pile it was sitting on now, and you can see some of their can dump here. They're obviously hanging out up there and just tossing their food cans off the side when they were done. And one of them came tumbling down the hill here and ended up there. I think that's a yucca, but I may be mistaken. I'm more than prepared to be stand corrected. But anyway, grew up through the can and blew out the side of the can, and it's just forcing its way through. So it's a testament to the strength of nature, perseverance of nature. I thought that was pretty cool. Some of the cans here in front of me. And we're just wrapping our way down the canyon, or the wash, or probably more accurately. It's a bit small for the canyon term, but anyway, going down to pick up the gear we cached and then heading on out.